Okay, am I in focus? Squared off, monitor up there, eyes to the lens. So this is just a quick vlog update in my series on my project for a solo filmmaking. Making a short movie. Been wanting to make a short movie for a couple of years now, if I want to be honest. And in one of my videos, I talked about how I was going to use this camera right here. This is the old tried and true Panasonic GH5s. Okay. Oops, sorry, phone call. And paired with these SLR Magic lenses. This is the 50, and I've got the 17 here. So really nice shallow depth of field. Of course, being cine lenses are manual only, no autofocus. But that's cool. You can control, the focus of attention for the subject matter. And a super shallow depth of field. These are T14 and a T15 stops. So really super thin, shallow depth of field, so you can isolate your character in the case of a movie. However, what I'm finding out is being a one-man band, that I'm having a really hard time with regard to blocking and being in that shallow depth of field, because you got to. I mean, I don't always use it at 1.4, 1.5. I usually around T2. T2.8, but it's still super thin. And so if I miss my blocking, and I'm using a measuring tape from the camera to where I'm supposed to be in front of the lens, I'm out of focus. And so even a bad movie, much less a good movie or a bad movie, that's not in focus is not a movie at all, is it? Just like not having good audio. So hopefully you can hear me well. I got this these Rode wireless Rode Pro models, so they can record internally, and then hopefully also give me a good recording in the camera. But that said, in that first vlog I created, I said how excited I was about using this setup here because of its low light capabilities. IBIS is not a consideration for me because being a one-man production, the camera will spend about 99% of its time in a fixed position on a tripod. In one case, I do have a slider, an Edelkrone slider that I can use if I want to introduce a little bit of movement in the shots. But being realistic and sticking with what I have, I'm finding it difficult to stay in the shot, stay in the frame, and stay in focus more than I thought I was going to. So I've been practicing for the last couple of weeks. That's why I haven't done any vlogs lately. I did one on the camera, and then I did one on a costume. That was fun. But now I'm getting ready to go out of town for a week, shoot some exterior shots, more pre-production, but I think if I'm lucky, I'll actually get usable footage that I can use. And I'm finding I do indeed like having autofocus. And in the case of this Olympus camera that I'm using right now, this is what I'm talking about, the EM1 Mark III, it's got phenomenal tracking ability. So I'm completely in focus, and even though it doesn't have a super shallow depth of field, it's an f2.8. A movie's just not about bokeh and blowing things out in the background. You got to have a good story, good characters, good locations. So there's so many other parts of a movie that's worth watching, and unfortunately, while I love this camera and I love these microprimes from SLR Magic, and they will work on the Olympus, but being a one-man band where I can't be on the back of the camera and I'm in front of the camera, I'm finding it a little above my pay grade to keep myself in focus. I'm worrying too much about looking at my little monitor on the top. I got a little Shinobi 5-inch monitor, and it can only do so much. So hopefully, one of the reasons I picked these lenses is because of the character in these lenses. They're not perfect. They're a little soft on the outer edges, but that's what I like. That's, part of the movie look for me. And with these Olympus Pro lenses, I've got the whole set. I've got the 7-14. I've got this 12-40 on there, f2.8, and then I've got the 40-150 2.8. So I've got all good lenses with great focusing abilities, but they're only f2.8, and of course on a micro four thirds sensor, it's more like a, I guess, an f4, f5.6 in terms of shallow depth of field. But I'm gonna muddy it up. I right now I've got a Pro mist filter on there, about 1/8, no, it's 1/4 strength, and then of course when I'm outdoors I'll use a ND filter to keep that 1/48 shutter speed on a 24 frame per second recording. So basically I'm tossing in the towel on the GH5s and the Cine lenses, and while it was cool, it's again just a little been proven to be a little bit difficult to get the shots and work the camera from both sides. Now if I were just on this side, the behind the camera, and I'm filming somebody else, then yeah, I can control. I've got some great stuff I've captured with this and I love it, but I got to be realistic with myself. And at the end of the day, on this movie, this little short movie I've been trying to shoot for, oh my gosh, 2 years now, I need to get my head out of my butt and I got to get it done. And so with the Olympus, we'll see how this comes out. I went online to YouTube and I saw some other short versions. It just happened to use the Olympus, and you know what? It's just as good as anything else. You know, it's again, it's a story, locations, and you know what you do with what's in front of this lens. And again, great lenses, SLR Magic, but because I'm not working the camera, it's hard to keep myself in focus. So that's where I'm at. That's my update. So we'll see where we're going from there. I'll be going out of town here in a few days for a week, and yeah, we'll see how this works out. All right, cool. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Thanks.